I'm just happy they played the song. What song is that, you ask?
Welcome to the jungle.
You know what I just did? I just made the exact same joke that I made 2 years ago.
Welcome to the jungle.
It's lazy, kids. Don't do it. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're talking about the brand new third Jumanji movie, and that is Jumanji: The Next Level. My goodness, the last film was such a surprise, such a treat. The more I watched it, the more I enjoyed it. I've seen it like 5 times since, so I'm excited to talk about this new film with a slightly similar premise, but a very different one at the same time. We're going to talk about all these things. I need you in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to Jumanji: The Next Level? And let's get into it. So, in Jumanji: The Next Level, the gang is back, but the game has changed as they return to rescue one of their own. The players will have to brave parts unknown, from deserts to snowy mountains, to escape the world's most dangerous game. And we have these same avatars returning in this movie: Jack Black, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan. I love these characters, even though they're switched up. They're kind of flipped on their head in this movie because obviously there are different people inhabiting their bodies, which allows for a nice change of pace comedy compared to the first film. But I just love the fact that they all get to do different things, right? Whether it's what they did in the first movie, and you guys remember that I think the standout in that film was Jack Black, but very surprised by what Karen Gillan had to offer. Really on the same level of Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson, two of the biggest stars in the world right now, and they all return in this one. But in this movie, I think the guy who stole the show was Kevin Hart. I mean, he is so good in this film, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that we now have new people coming into the game, whether it's Danny Glover's Milo or Danny DeVito's Eddie. Danny DeVito goes into The Rock's body, and Milo comes into Kevin Hart's body. Now, they're both fantastic playing older men in these jacked or these really athletic, fit bodies. But Kevin Hart, just the way that he conducts himself, and he's constantly forgetting things, and The Rock doesn't remember the fact that he's in a video game consistently, and their banter, and just overcorrecting each other, and talking on top of each other, and just so many wonderful moments that stand in my head as really comedy standouts from this year. And it's the exact same case with this movie that it was in the last movie. The last movie was such a fun action thrill ride romp. Now, was it predictable? Sure. Was it a bit cliched and full of CGI? Yes. And I can say the same things about this movie. They're also great comedies. This movie is a great comedy. It made me laugh consistently. Does every joke work? No. But Jumanji: The Next Level does, in fact, manage to recapture that magic. And honestly, guys, I mean, I know we're only halfway through the review, but I like this movie just as much as the first, or just as much as the second, because this is the third. And I'll tell you that right now. I really do. I think they're both consistently funny. Now, I do think some will have issues with the fact that this is a bit of a rehash of the plot from the first film. And that is a slight issue that I had, right? They changed the narrative just enough. We have new players, we have new characters, we have returning characters, and they all do a wonderful job. We also have Awkwafina in this movie. This time, she is an avatar that one of our heroes gets to go in. And I like the fact that they did switch up the fact. It's like, we can't pick our characters this time. We're going into random bodies. How did I get here? And you have the two older gentlemen in the game as well. But they do get an opportunity to kind of express themselves that they can't do in real life. So that provides for comedy. And we also get to flesh out this team a bit more. Bethany, Spencer, Martha, Mouse, their characters are growing, and they have grown since the last time that we saw them in the previous movie, because a lot of things ended off on a nice note. Now, the reasoning for going back into the game, I'm like, okay, I can buy it. And there were a few times within this film I'm like, it's a little on the nose, or the dialogue's a bit expositional, or maybe that's a bit too much on the CGI side, but a movie like this can get away with that because it is a video game, not based on a video game, but it is a video game movie. Therefore, you can make it kind of look like you're in that setting, and they just recapture the magic. And I am shocked that this film ended up being as good as the last film, and I was shocked that the last film ended up being as good as the first film. It's like Jumanji really is, at this point, a franchise that is working very well. Now, I do see some coming out of this movie thinking it was so similar to Welcome to the Jungle. Because of that, they may not be fans of this movie, and I get that. I understand responses like that, but here's my thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Well, that could kind of apply to this movie because there's a part of the... Never mind, I'm not getting into the actual plot, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep doing it. Now, I will say, stay in the midst of the credits because there is a bit of a setup as to what the next film, I guess the fourth now in the franchise, could bring us, kind of going back to the roots, and I really like what it is setting up for this franchise to continue with. Regardless, Jumanji the Next Level, it's a ton of fun. It's exactly what you want from another film in this not tired franchise. It keeps going, it keeps the energy. Regardless, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you like these kinds of reviews, be sure to comment your thoughts and smash that thumbs up button. You will get more things like this, more early reviews. I'm going solid 72% for this film. I'm not making the same mistake I made with the last movie. The last movie, I watched it for the first time. I'm like, oh, it was fun, but there were issues. And then I rewatched it, and I kept upping my score. No, I'm going about the exact same score for this film that I have for the last film. They're not like the most well-made movies you'll see this year, but they're a ton of fun. They're really solid, great for the whole family. I hope this thing crushes at the box office. What did you guys think of Jumanji The Next Level? Is this a movie that worked for you? Let me know that in the comments down below. All right, we have a lot of things to come this week. We're talking best movies of the decade. We're talking, I have to gather up my top 10 of the year. It's going to be one of the toughest things I've ever had to do on this channel, but we're doing it. We're going to attempt. You guys are truly the best. Go watch Jumanji this weekend. You're going to have a great time, and I'm going to go take a nap.